So in this video segment, we're going to go over how to properly agitate Df96 monobath developer. First off, I've tested a lot of different tanks, from Jobo tanks to steel tanks, and at the end of the day, I think the Patterson tanks work the best for Df96. Just my opinion, but I've had perfect results using Patterson tanks. So there's two ways to do the inversion. One method is your standard inversion process, where you have the lid on, you flip it upside down and turn it, and go back and forth. Nice, gentle rock and twist. The problem I have with that with Patterson tanks, and anyone who's ever used a Patterson tank knows that this lid sucks and it leaks. Always leaks. I can never get a perfect seal on it. Secondly, if you look at the size of the volume on this opening out of this funnel, that's a lot of airspace, and when you're flipping and inverting like that, it's a lot of oxygen moving around in the tank. I don't like that. Finally, I find that the inversion technique also, as you get further and further into the lifespan of your film or of your developer, it starts to get foamy. And this heavy, aggressive inversion has a tendency of causing it to become very sudsy on the inside. So I prefer technique method number 2. Take the lid and get rid of it. And I like to use the agitator stick. What's great about the agitator stick is that once you dump the chemical in, it's just a real simple twist. And with a lot of developers, that would produce an uneven development, but with Df96, it produces an absolutely perfect development, edge to edge. So here's my technique for processing film. I've got my Df96, I've got the amount measured out in a beaker that I need to use, and by the way, on the bottom of the Patterson tanks, it tells you exactly how much developer you need per roll of film. So I've got my film loaded in here, pretend film. I've got the funnel locked on, and I use a tub, just a simple Tupperware tub with a good thermometer, and everything's at temp. So the tub would be at the proper temp, the developer's at the proper temp, depending on the type of agitation process that I've chosen. And I'll go over that in the next video. And I put the tank in the tub, kind of hold it down with my hand, and then I would fill it with the developer, take the the agitator stick and spin 1, 2, 3, 4, and then the opposite direction. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now that's for the continuous agitation process. I would just do that for the entire time, 3 minutes, and I would just keep going. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Now what's nice about this technique, as you can see, is the tank is in a tempering bath the entire time, so the temperature is exactly precise. And additionally, the film is completely immersed in the developer the entire time. Because again, I have found that this produces the best possible negatives. So that's that technique. Now, if you were doing the intermittent development technique, which is you agitate for the first 30 seconds and then 10 seconds each minute, I generally speaking find once again in 10 seconds I can do 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. That's about the amount of inversions I can get in 10 seconds. But it's very important to remember, as I pointed out in one of the audios, that the agitation is what stops the development. So if you over agitate, if you're just spinning this baby at total speed, you're going to shut the development down very quickly. If you go too slow and just barely move, you risk having uneven development. So generally speaking, as I'm showing you here, this is about the speed that I like to work when I'm doing this. And you can practice this beforehand with just a little water in the tank like this to make sure it's fine. So that's, and then on the slowest method of inversion, which once again I'll go over in the next video, I do the first 10 seconds, same way, and then every minute I would do 5 seconds, maybe one turn one way and one turn the other way. The secret to the agitation technique is to minimize the variability. So do it the same way every single time. If one time you're processing and you're spinning really fast and one time you're spinning really slow, you are going to see differences in your development. Find a rhythm, find a technique, and stick with it. Now remember, after you process your film, you reuse the developer for up to 16 plus rolls of film. So you take the developer, dump it out, rinse the film, and then take the used developer and put it back in the bottle it came in, and then on the bottle you write the number of rolls that you've processed. Because for every roll of film you process, you add 15 seconds of total time to developer. So for instance, if your development time is 3 minutes, you're doing the continuous development time, it's 3 minutes. And you've processed 6 rolls of film, and you're now about to do your 7th roll, you have to add 15, well, it's 6 times 15, so it's 1.5 minutes. So instead of being a 3-minute development, your development time now is 4.5 minutes. I'll go over more on this extending the development time in the next video, but by labeling the number of rolls you've done on the bottle, they actually give you a little tiny area to do it. I just write it up top here. It's really important because it allows you to have the best possible developed film.